Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode. I'm Nate Hicks with Painted Arrow. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss all the fine details of how you can get the absolute best footage using your cell phone, utilizing the Mag Pro when you go out hunting this fall. Let's get into it. All right, so for those of you who are not familiar, the Painted Arrow Mag Pro, which is right here on the bow, this was designed as a recovery tool. The point of this product is that everybody is walking in the woods with a cell phone in their hand, and we wanted to create a very easy, effective way for people to film their hunts. So on that thread, we have a ton of questions on what is the best way to get the most clean, clear, crisp footage when in the field. And I want to really start with the setup process of how to effectively and properly set up the Mag Pro. Stepping back one step further, this plate, okay? This is the phone plate that goes on the back side of your phone case. Really, really important in the setup process is what phone case are you putting this plate on? What we recommend, and we have this case exactly on our website, is a firm, hard, like rigid case. I know a lot of people run the OtterBox, and that is it's basically the reverse of what our case is. They have a hard shell interior and then a soft rubber exterior shell. Ours is the opposite. So we have a soft rubber interior and then this hard, rigid, firm case in the back. You don't have to buy our case by any means, but what you want to put it on is that rigid, firm case. It's going to give you cleaner, crisper footage. Why? Well, when you put it on the mount, there's no slop in it. If it's on a silicone or rubber soft case, when you kind of touch it, it's gonna be flimsy, and when you shoot your bow and the vibration hits, you're gonna see a lot of that in the footage. So that's number one. When you put that phone plate onto your phone case, get a cheap case, get the Painted Arrow Tough case off the website, and make sure that is perfect. Secondarily, on the phone topic, the newer the phone, the better the footage. This is an iPhone 14 Pro. They just released the 16. The newer the phone, the better the technology. It's just very clear, cut and dry, black and white. Okay, secondly, let's talk about the install, okay? Every single product comes with this strip of foam right here. Of the people who call in and say, hey, I'm having some issues with vibration on the mount, how can I reduce some of the vibration? First question we ask is, hey, did you utilize this strip of foam right here? This is included in every single product. Every single product comes with that, okay? So what you wanna do is you wanna adhere this on the bottom. And the reason is, if you go like this, see all that vibration? When you shoot your bow, you can hear it, it's like a tuning fork. You wanna compress that down and it immediately takes the slop right out, okay? That's huge. Over time, you're gonna wanna replace this foam, okay? You can see this one here is probably getting close. It's not gonna last forever, okay? It's just not. I would replace it probably once a season. We do sell an accessory kit that does include some of the foam that we recommend using. It does a really, really good job. We've tested all sorts of different foams. One of the other things I wanna talk about while we're sitting here in the studio is the weight distribution, okay? What you wanna do, okay? Like for example, see how the bow's a little bit front heavy? I'm probably not gonna hunt with this on, and that really helps to kind of help level the bow a little bit. It's kind of right in that area. The other thing you can do is put a back bar on. I know a lot of guys don't want to add additional weight. I'm a fan of having more rather than less weight. If it's a really windy day, the more weight on your bow is gonna give you more stability, especially with the pin flow. You got a lighter bow, you're gonna see more of this pin flow. Heavier, it's gonna slow down a little bit for you. And that applies when you're trying to film with your bow. With the Mag Pro, the heavier that is, I've taken a lot of weight off the front and added it to a back bar in the past. It's gonna give you more stable footage, okay? It's just gonna be more stable. And that's from not just my experience, but everybody testing the products early on and continuing to test them. It's a little bit nicer to have if you can adjust the weight with a back bar. I currently don't have it on there. Practicing with this is a really key thing. And I think we're gonna go to that next. So just a quick recap. Number one, make sure the phone plate is on a rigid case or directly to the phone. Number two, make sure you have that foam installed and compress it nicely on top of the stabilizer bar. And then number three, adjust your weight. If you need to take a little bit off the front, add it to the back, or just simply reduce all of it off the front. You have this foam, which is 3 to 5 ounces, depending on your phone, and just make sure it's weighted nicely. Okay, let's go to the field. All right, so there's two ways. Pretend you're out in the tree, out in the ground, hunting deer, hunting elk, whatever you hunt. There's two ways that I would recommend that you do this process of getting your phone out, throwing it on the Mag Pro, pulling back, and actually release an arrow. So here's one. Oh, there's an animal over there. Really quickly, right there, I just did a bunch of things I want to just try and point out. So one's the quick camera option. We'll show you guys how to do that back in the studio. The other one, I put it on the shelf and pushed it forward, okay? Why does that matter? If you go in and leave a gap on the bottom of this, again, you're opening up an opportunity for more vibration to be recognized in the video. So again, just quickly, you want to put it on the shelf and throw it up on there. It doesn't have to be loud. That's a common question we get. Does it have to be loud? Dead silent, okay? The other option is you leave it on there. A lot of people do that, like prime time in the morning, in the evening, dawn and dusk. Maybe you have it in a bow hanger in the tree stand. You just leave your phone on, okay? Then all you have to do is come over, quickly tap, touch, and you're filming. Super, super quick, easy. Anybody can do it. The other thing that's probably, I would say, the most important thing, if you get one thing out of this video, the most important thing is to practice, okay? You don't need a back bar. You don't need anything special. If you just want to buy that mount right there and throw it on, the most important thing is that you practice not doing one of these after you shoot, okay? So I'll just want to shoot one just to show you guys. We'll film this. Just like that, we're filming, okay? I'm gonna draw back. I'm gonna show you what to do and what not to do. This is what not to do. Okay? You don't wanna do that. So this is what to do, okay? So we're filming. Draw back. Okay, so again, it's just practice. There's nothing special about what I just did, but it's the constant reminder, and it's worth it to me because I've used the footage enough to help me recover animals that I know that if I can use my phone and just remember to easily hold my bow up and follow that animal for 10 seconds, maybe 5, the intel that you're going to get from that it's worth it. I mean, it's helped me recover multiple deer now. Just being able to see where they entered the thick bedding area, where do you start the blood trail at? It's just really key. So again, it's not crazy, but just once you shoot, don't do this one, okay? And I know I've heard just about everything about how that's not proper form or whatever. It works for me. If you practice something long enough, you're gonna be really good at it, and I think it's worth it. Once you see the footage, we're gonna review some footage in the shop after this, how clean it can be and how useful it can be on a recovery trail. It's really worth it to me. So another thing that's really, really important if you're trying to get the best quality footage possible, you wanna see where that arrow's placed on the animal, run a lighted knock. It's gonna just help you that much more to see that arrow fly in the air for placement, and we can show you guys some of that footage as well side by side. So we're gonna end back in the studio, and I wanna talk about camera settings on cellular devices. This is probably one of the most important things, and I think you guys are gonna find it interesting. So here we go. All right, guys, so we're gonna talk about camera settings on mobile devices, smartphones. So I got an iPhone 14 Pro. There's a different way to do it on an S21, S22, all the Ultras, the Google Pixels. You can do the same adjustments, but I'm gonna show it on an iPhone because that's the most popular phone out there. You can do this. on all phones. So specifically, first off, I'm going to talk about the preserve settings. And what that does is every phone has a quick camera button. So on S21, I know it's on the side. On an iPhone, it's right on the main homepage. So you just tap your phone, it shows your background. There's the quick camera button. You just press it and it goes right to your camera. So when I go out hunting in the morning, okay, you got these two buttons here. That's the quick camera, and you get the flashlight. All right. So this button right here is the one I'm referring to. And to keep you from scrolling to find video or whatever mode that it is you want. So what we can do is we can adjust our settings so that every time you go back in, it's going to remember the last settings that you were on. So what you're going to do, you're going to open up, you're going to scroll down to your camera, and it's quite a ways down towards the bottom. So click on camera. The fifth one down, well, let's see, fifth one down, preserve settings. So stock, when you buy a phone, the first two, creative controls and the camera mode, are turned off. Turn those on. So what that's gonna do, like I said, every time you go back into your setting, your camera, it's gonna remember the settings that you were last in. And while you're in there, right, like this is an iPhone 14 Pro, you have 4K up here, you have action mode. Action mode is something I would recommend you testing out, but basically, you know, when there's movement, this is going to help adjust the settings so that it slows it down. You can see it went from 4K to 2.8K. So it's just going to automatically do these general modes for you. Also, I can't believe we didn't mention this, but I would never recommend filming vertically. All right. Always film horizontally on the mount. You can turn the mount to go over to the side to go vertical, but to get the best, widest angle, definitely leave it on the horizontal view. So once you have footage of an animal that you shot on the Mag Pro with your cell phone, I want to just quickly talk about how we at Painted Arrow transfer footage onto our laptop so that you can see the most detail possible, and that's through AirDrop. This right here is a deer that I shot, did not recover last year, and I really utilized this footage on the Mag Pro to help me, you know, make a game time decision on how we were going to recover it. So what I want to show you really quick and just kind of briefly talk about, whenever you film something on a device and you, like, let's say you want to text this to a buddy, okay? Let's say you're like, yeah, I'm going to text this to whoever. It's going to compress the footage in a big way, and compressing basically means it makes the footage not as clean, not as crisp. It's not a big file because it needs to transfer through the air, right? So to get away from doing that, what we want to recommend is that if you do have Apple products, you find a way to either email it, transfer it with full resolution, but it's super easy with an iPhone. So I'm going to AirDrop it to my Mac. That's transferring right now. So it just went. So I'm going to go to my downloads. There it is. It's taking just 1 second here. Okay, so now this footage, okay, I have it on my computer. It's full resolution, and I got it on this big screen, okay? The newer cell phones, it is amazing the quality footage you can get. I mean, we're filming this entire video on an iPhone. So it's powerful. So when you're in the field, you don't have the luxury of AirDropping to a laptop, maybe even plugging this into your TV. So we're gonna close this. What I wanna do is show you, you're in the stand, you just made a shot. The cool thing about our product is that you can review the footage in the stand right now. So I wanna review this hunt right here. Okay, we're gonna turn this up. We're just gonna watch it through one time. Okay, so I made a really bad shot, never ended up recovering this deer. This deer still haunts me till this day. But okay, so let's pretend you're in the stand, okay? I can zoom in right here. I'm gonna press pause. I'm gonna center this. If I go frame by frame, so I'm gonna grab this bottom scroll bar and I can just frame by frame, arrows released, you can see it in the air. and you can see placement right there, right in front of the hip. Really bad shot. And I don't know if you can notice the vibration, okay? Right at about 20 yards, this was a 25-yard shot. At about 20 yards or more, the vibration stabilizes so that you can still see the point of impact. If you properly have it installed like we showed. So what I was basically allowed with this footage, not only did I have this for myself, I had this to show other people if I wanted to get a dog tracker involved, which we never ended up doing for a couple of reasons. But you have this footage to show another individual to say, hey, this is what happened. This is what I think happened. You can show this to dog trackers and they're more likely to come to your deer because these guys are getting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 calls a night. If you have footage to show, I've had proof of this where I've showed it, sent it, and they're like, oh, we're on our way. That's a dead deer. That, for example, my personal opinion of that, we knew that it was a bad shot. We knew it was in front of the hip. We knew it was potentially if I was lucky, maybe just over time he'd die because he got shot in the guts. But that deer is going to die. That we knew that. That is a lethal shot. It's just a matter of how many hours is it going to take. So we never ended up finding him. Neighbor didn't want us to have a dog in there, but all that to say, I'm able to review this in the stand right now rather than me going down there, bumping that deer out of its bed and it's in the next county, right? So this is just showing and highlighting the tool that this can be when you're in the stand and you make a shot. How do you proceed in the next 5 to 10 minutes? What is the most appropriate thing to do? And I think you guys are really going to enjoy the product. If you don't already have one, I would really highly encourage at least just going to the website, looking at some of the specs. We have more product review highlights on the actual product, but it's one of those things that has really changed the game for me, specifically with the recovery aspect in mind. That's where it shines. And all you need is an iPhone, an Android, any cell phone will do. And you can start filming your hunts today. So thanks for listening along, guys. Please drop a comment if you have questions, anything that you want to see. We have a lot more footage that we can go through. I think we're going to do that in the future, do some more hunt breakdowns and show you guys how we're making decisions based on the footage we're getting. And it's the easiest way to start filming your hunt. So thanks for listening along.